Hey everybody, I made it. I was having some technical difficulties as usual, but anyway, I hope everybody is doing well tonight. This is our Missing Person Monday live stream, and we are going to do Alaska tonight. We're starting on the western states. It is still May is Missing and Murdered Indigenous Persons Month, so I put together. I think it is it'll come up. There it is. 6 MMIW missing Indigenous women from Alaska cases tonight. So we'll be talking about those. Sorry, I'm still trying to get everything straightened out here as usual. But I hope everybody's doing well tonight. I hope everybody had a good Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day, belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And we will see who is here. Miss Lisa Joe, our Spice Girl, was number 1. Hello, Miss Lisa Joe. Good to see you. Miss Doodle was number 2. Always good to see our enforcer here. No, we love Doodle. Chris made it in. Good to see you, sir. Miss Farr is back. Oh gosh, everything is so slow on my computer tonight. Chrome is what was giving me my technical difficulties. Anyway, it's always good to see Miss Farr here. Let's see. Chris says that Lisa Joe is the talented enforcer who knows way more about science than me. She knows way more science than me, too. Mr. Josh is here. Always good to have you here, sir. Do you not have a wrench, Josh? I'm going to have to remedy that. I thought I'd given you a wrench. 1 second. If I can get I have to do it from the YouTube side. Always good to have Josh here. Still looking forward to when he gets his content going. Can't wait to see that. Let me see who else is here while I'm getting YouTube up. Let's see. Let me work from my phone for a minute. Let me see. Get down to where I was at. Lots of comments. Good to see everybody here tonight. Oh, I went too far, as usual. 1 second, trying to multitask. You all know what happens when I try to multitask. Oh no, don't want to delete the comment. Just trying to put Josh's comment up. There it is. Yes, I don't know about Miss Barr, but I am now out of Facebook jail. I still don't know why I got put in Facebook jail in the first place. It was my Southern Gal account. It wasn't my personal account. And all I post on my Southern Gal account is the missing persons and cold cases. So who knows? Who knows? But I was freed from Facebook jail at around 12:30 this afternoon. So I'm out. Hopefully Miss Barb is out. But it's funny, I could post anything but links. It would not let me post a link because I tried to post my video, my YouTube videos, other people's YouTube videos, and it would not let me post anything with a link. So, like I said, I don't know. There's no telling. I offended the Facebook gods somehow. All right, let me find Josh and give him a wrench. Everybody duck. I'm going to play Dave. I'm going to play Al on the Prowl and start throwing wrenches around here. As soon as my chat will come up. Let's see who else is here. Oh, the troublemaker's here. Nobody's put echoes in timeout yet. Hello, Bubba. Good to see you. For anybody who's new here, Echoes, Brian is my brother. And Miss Doodle apparently has not put him in, or anybody else has not put him in Facebook jail yet. Or not Facebook jail. Who knows? He may be there too. Has not put him in timeout yet. All right, let me find. Oh my goodness, nothing is wanting to work on my computer. Let me find Josh. Oh goodness. There he is. Okay. Nope. Don't want to put Josh in timeout. Add as a moderator. All right. Josh should now have a wrench. Okay. No. Oh goodness, did I close everything down? Hold on. Okay, no, we're back. All right. Okay, Josh has a wrench. So let me get back down. Oh, once again, I went too far. Oh goodness. All right. Okay. So Echoes is here. So far, I suppose he is not causing any problems. Miss Nan is here. Hello, Miss Nan. Good to have you here. Miss Paula is here. Good to have Miss Paula. Please do check out Miss Paula over on her channel. Or she said she was coming over soon. Maybe she's here. Can't talk tonight. Lord have mercy. Just don't want to miss anybody. Oh, did Nan get a membership last week? Yeah, Arctic gifted, I think, 5 memberships last week. So if Nan got one, congratulations to you, Nan. Oh my God, nothing will move. Yeah, Echo says, who has not kicked me out yet? Doodle, you have, so give someone else a chance. Let's see, I don't think Chris has kicked you out yet, or I don't know about Lisa Joe or Miss Farr. There's so many people with wrenches. Anybody could kick you out. Now you do have the privilege, Josh. Welcome, Miss Nicole from Stolen Spirits MMIWG. Please do check out the channel, YouTube channel, the Facebook group. They do wonderful work. On the live stream I did Thursday, I used their missing flyer, MMIP flyers. So I appreciate them letting me steal their flyers to use. So please do check them out, and somebody can stick the their YouTube channel link in. And if anybody can find the Facebook group link, you can please throw it in. So welcome, Miss Nicole. Good to have you here. Yeah, Miss Lisa Joe said, to be fair, I am a scientist. I know more about science than most. Absolutely. Yes, I'm a cat mom. Yep. I'm a cat mom. Absolutely. Yeah, I heard it was going to be, I was going to ask Echoes about that too. I heard it was going to be very warm in Minnesota this week. Lisa Joe said it snowed there here last week, and now it's 90 degrees, and there's MFing wildfires everywhere. Oh, I hadn't heard about the wildfires. I just heard about it. It was supposed to be hot in the 90s. Thank you, Miss Nan. Yeah, like I'm a cat mom. I've helped raise nieces, nephews, friends' kids. But we took Mama out. We went to church, and then we took her out to eat Sunday. So she had a good Mother's Day. At least she said she did. So I'm going to believe her. Let's see. Oh, Miss Farr gifted 5 Southern Gal True Crime memberships. Thank you so much, ma'am. So we get to put some cows in the pasture. Oh my gosh, everything is so slow tonight. There it is. Thank you so much, Miss Farr. Miss Farr is an angel. She has always gifted memberships. So you guys on the YouTube side can see who got the memberships. I can't see it on the StreamYard side. But congratulations to whoever got them. Yes, I'm playing. I was pulling a Dave. I was throwing wrenches. Oh, yes. Thank you very much. Yes, at least I'm not throwing hair. I only throw hairbrushes at you. Oh, goodness. All right, let me get caught up. Yes, welcome to the paddock. Yes, I definitely cannot. I will fully admit I cannot multitask very well. In my younger years, I could multitask fairly well, but not so much anymore. I don't. Lisa Joe says, if I'm not in Facebook jail, how the hell are you in Facebook jail? I don't know. I didn't even get a notification that I had been put in Facebook jail. Because usually I get it'll come up in my notifications, whatever it says for whatever unspeakable crime that you commit on Facebook to get put in Facebook jail. I just tried to post a link, actually I was on the anniversary of when I think it was the 8th of when Cleashindra Hall went missing from here in Arkansas. I was going to put a link to my playlist that I've done, all the videos and the live streams I've done on that case on Facebook, and it says you cannot post links until Monday, whatever today is. And no explanation why. No explanation. So I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? That's Facebook for you. That is pretty sad. People can post. I can't even say what I've seen posted on Facebook, but if people can post the filth that I've seen posted on Facebook, and you can't even post a Bible verse, that's I don't even know what to say about that. Josh says my new computer is coming tomorrow and grad ceremonies. I accidentally signed up to work this weekend. After that, be prepared for your content for your channel. We are ready. We are ready, sir. We can wait. We can wait. It's going to be awesome. Yes, that is probably true. Echo says if I moved out of the sticks, my computer would work better. Probably true. If I would actually shell out some money to get Wi-Fi out here, it would probably work better. I just run it off the Wi-Fi hotspot on my phone is how I do it. So that probably has a lot to do with it also. Oh, goodness. Yep, last week or is either last Monday or Thursday. I think it was Thursday. Our buddy Arctic gifted 5 memberships. Yep, Josh can be the next one to put echoes in timeout if he doesn't behave. Oh, goodness. Absolutely, Miss Nicole. Absolutely. Yes. Lisa Jo says, I really do love the work you're doing, Nicole. I've been meaning to tell you that. I'm seeing your flyers everywhere. Absolutely. Yes. Mom, she didn't make you talk to me. He said, Mom made him talk to me on Mother's Day. Oh, goodness. Thank you, Miss Doodle. There is Stolen Spirits MMIWG YouTube link. Oh, goodness. See, you always say no, though. You always say no. And I'm going to assume this is the, and Doodle, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the Stolen Spirits Facebook group link. Oh, really? Miss Lisa Jo says there's an app she just got called Map a Fire. So it'll tell you like where all the wildfires are at. Echo says it's flipping hot up here in Minnesota. Oh, Dave must have heard us. His ears are burning. Hello, Dave. He's probably out listening and driving. Good to have you here, Dave. I made it through most of Dave. Not that Dave is boring. Dave is never boring, but he comes on really, really late. And I think I made it through most of his live stream Saturday night, Sunday morning, but I think I fell asleep maybe the last few minutes. So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that. But please do check out Dave. No, I do not want to restart my computer. It asks me if I want to restart my computer. No, I don't. Anyway, please do check out Dave. He does wonderful stuff. He has his weekly live stream late Saturday nights, early Sunday mornings. Dave is fantastic. Yep, he is listening and driving. There is Miss Paula's link. Thank you, Miss Doodle, for and there's Dave's link for getting all the links in here. Yes, definitely drive safe, Dave. Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Dave says he's driving, so he can't say hi to everyone. Yes. We hope Mr. Steve is doing okay, doing well. I'm assuming he's just out. This is the time of year he goes out and boots on the ground, working on visiting families, working on whatever cases that he's currently working on. So we wish him thoughts and prayers and safe travels, as always, to Mr. Steve out doing the good work. I could multitask pretty well, reasonably well. Oh, so you've had a 3-day weekend, so that's why he's feeling saucy. Yep, my feelings exactly. Oh, yes, Miss Lucido has psychotic Facebook creepers. I have a feeling Miss Lucido can handle herself, though. Yes, fake profiles. All right, I'm going to get caught up, and then I promise we will get started. Yes, Josh said that he rarely got a chance to catch Dave's lives, but he often wants to. Yeah, Dave, you have to be a night owl, and sometimes I don't always make it. Sometimes I fall asleep before he gets started, but replay crew is awesome, just like here. We love our replay crew here. So yes, definitely check out Dave. Oh, excellent. So Josh says that Mr. Steve just emailed him back saying he's working some cold cases. It was short and sweet, so no details. Absolutely. So we know he's okay. I figured that he was out there doing fighting the good fight, helping the families. Oh, I'd be scared of you too, Miss Lisa Jo. Okay, I think I am caught up. So we will get to our first case. Let me mark where I left off here. And sorry for no cam tonight, but I was running late and just wasn't feeling it tonight. You have those days where you just, you don't feel camera ready. Is that a professional term for it? I'm by no means a professional, but So anyway, I normally do have my cam, but not tonight. Anyway, so first case we're going to look at is Mary Ann Alexie. And I think I already have her information pulled up. So Mary Ann has been missing since October 10th, 2012 from Anchorage, Alaska. She is a Native American female. She was 32 years old at the time she went missing. She'll be 45 years old as of 2025. At the time she went missing, she was 4'11", 120 pounds, so just a little thing. With black hair and brown eyes. She does have a tattoo on her upper right arm. I think, I forgot to include it on the slide. I'm trying to see what it says. Hold on. I believe it's like a banner, and I think it says, I can't read what it says actually. Looks like it has a name on it. Sorry, I was going to include it on the slide and I forgot. It says she may use the alias name Mary Jane Alexie, or the last name McNeil. And she does have a history of alcohol abuse. So Mary Ann is from Fairbanks, Alaska. She had traveled to Anchorage to enroll in Alaska Career College, and she was going to study to be a medical assistant. She arrived on October 9th, 2012, but she did not show up for classes that day. At around 3 a.m. on October 10th, she called her friends and said that she was in the Spenard area of the city. And it says this area is now notorious for its criminal activity. Apparently, she was intoxicated and sounded disoriented and said that she was lost and she did not know where to go. After that, she has never been heard from again. Unfortunately, she left behind 4 children. Prior to her disappearance, Mary Ann was married to Robert Alexander McNeil Sr. It said the couple did have a troubled marriage. Their DV charges were filed against both of them, but he has not been named as a suspect in Mary Ann's disappearance. Once again, Mary Ann did struggle with an alcohol problem, and she had faced multiple charges of DUI and disturbing the peace prior to her disappearance. She is considered to be missing under suspicious circumstances, as it is uncharacteristic of her to be out of touch with her loved ones, and her case remains unsolved. So that was the basic Charlie Project information. So if you have any information regarding Mary Ann's case, you can call the Anchorage Police Department at 907-786-8900. And I believe I was actually able to find, because I don't like to solely rely on just the Charlie Project information, because most of us know that to use Charlie Project, it's not all the information is always 100% correct, but it just gives, I do like to use it for the basic information. And I believe I was able to find at least some little article on all the cases tonight. So let me see what I found on Mary Ann. Let me get a drink. So this article, and I do put the links to all the source articles, online news articles that I use are in the description box. So feel free to read them for yourself if you would like to. But this is from AlaskanNewsSource.com, and it is from December of 2020. It says, Seeking Justice, the Woman Who Vanished in Alaska in 2012. So just a trigger warning. Oh, and I forgot to, let me put my banner, my creeper up. Hold on. Just for trigger warning purposes. There we go. Okay. So just trigger warning. It says content. This article contains information including references to self-harm that some readers might find disturbing. It says from Dillingham and Nikolai. Let me make sure this is the right. Hold on. Actually, I have to go down because I used this article for actually 2 of the cases. Okay, so Marianne Alexie, disappeared, 32, disappeared from Anchorage after a late night phone call to a friend. The mother of 4 had traveled from Fairbanks to Anchorage to attend school, but within a day of her arrival, she vanished. Sergeant, I'm going to slaughter these names, Slawomir Markowitz with the Anchorage Police Department said in 2012, after Marianne's disappearance, we know that at one point she contacted family members, she contacted friends, and then she stopped making calls. According to police, on October 10th, 2012, Marianne Alexie called a friend late at night. She sounded intoxicated, lost, and in need of a place to stay the night. Her family told Alaska's news source that Marianne had come to Anchorage in search of a better life. Balasa Alexie, who is Marianne's niece, during an interview said, "We are really proud of the fact that she was ready to go to school and get her life together." Volunteers helped tack up posters with Marianne's picture in the Spenard neighborhood from which she is believed to have gone missing. By November, around the time of Marianne's 33rd birthday, her niece, sister, and mother flew to Anchorage from Nikolai to help the search. They arrived to find police searching the waters of Lake Hood, a busy seaplane base in Spenard, close to the Ted Stevens Anchorage International Airport. Josie Guinness, who is Marianne's sister, said, "Someone knows what happened to her. The family needs some kind of closure." By December, Anchorage police had asked the public in the surrounding neighborhood to check properties just in case Marianne had maybe stopped somewhere to take shelter and rest. Markowitz, who I believe was one of the law enforcement, said one theory is that she was so intoxicated, maybe she went into somebody's shed, somebody's property that has not been checked. So we would like to ask the homeowners in that area to check their properties, especially unsecured sheds on the property. Balasa Alexie said the family could have used a support person or police liaison to help them adjust to what was happening and to help guide them through what to expect. Instead, they say they felt very left out. Balasa Alexie said, honestly, it could have gone a little better. We didn't know what was going on. We were kind of lost and trying to figure out what was happening and how to find her. The concerning thing to me was that they had us meet with a homicide detective, and that kind of set off alarm bells. I can't imagine. During an interview on December 4th about their newly launched cold case unit, the Anchorage Police Department told Alaska's news source, they regret that families may feel disconnected, but emphasize their main focus is figuring out what happened. They often can't share many details because it could harm an investigation. And this was according to Unit Commander Lieutenant Jack Carson, which is true. I mean, you don't want to give obviously anything away or do anything that would harm the case. But I mean, and I'm not saying this way with all police departments, but some police departments could do, just give the family just something, just, keep in touch, just to let them know, hey, we're still working on the case. We haven't we haven't got any new leads, or we may have some leads, but we just can't say anything, just something of that nature. This is just all my opinion. Marianne's niece does not believe that her aunt would have harmed herself. She says, there was a time period when I was a teenager and I was personally having a hard time, and she kind of like whipped me into shape. She said, don't you ever think about that. Self-harm is not the way to go. Life is tough, but you are tougher. So she said she just wouldn't do that. And she described her aunt as being like her second mom. Mary Ann's brother Robert, the loss was too much. Unfortunately, he took his own life in December of 2014. They think mostly due to his sister's disappearance. Balasa Alexie said he was just stuck thinking about her and kind of upset with himself that he wasn't there to help protect her. Over the years, Balasa Alexie has wondered whether Marianne's Alaska Native heritage impacted the quality of the investigation by law enforcement. Balasa says, I do feel like there's been some kind of prejudice. I feel like if we were a different skin color, we would have gotten a little more action from police and a little more public support. Carson told Alaska's news source that race has no impact on how his team evaluates and pursues cases. He said race does not affect the way we look at cases, explaining that detectives look at the crime that was committed and attempt to bring justice and closure for victims and families. He says the ultimate thing for letting families know that we care is solving cases for them, and that is our number one goal. For the families of both the women, which we'll talk about the other case here in a little bit, living with their loved one's absence has not been easy. Absolutely not. Every time Balasa Alexie enjoys a treasured moment with her own children, she grieves the moments her aunt and her aunt's children are missing. And the women in the family, Balasa Alexie and her aunt's sister, still are not able to talk much about Mary Ann's disappearance because it is too painful. Balasa says, we just want to find her. I personally don't believe that she is alive anymore. It's been too long. We just want to find her and bury her. So I think that was all on Mary Ann's case. And like I said, we'll go back to this article when we get to the other case that it talks about. All right, let me get into your comments for a minute and see what I've missed. Let's see. I know I marked where I left off. All right, there it is. Suspects, not that, not anything that I could find, unfortunately. Yes, I think it says she left behind 4 children. Did I say? Yep. Oh, I can do that, Josh. Josh says, if you shared a list a few days prior to a live, I'd be happy to look up articles for you. I'll count it as librarian stats. Hey, I can do that. Yeah, because I try to go through and get my look up my cases. I have to look up and see what state we're doing next. Whatever the Charlie Project has classified next alphabetically in what they classify as Western states. Oh, goodness. But Josh, thank you. I would appreciate that. Josh says I see so many cases similar to this in Alaska and also other MMIW in North America. Yes. Yep. Unfortunately, oh, goodness. And probably, even though, Indigenous Native American need to be shared every day of every month, not just for May, which is, MMIW month, but we may do, because the Western states do have a lot of Native American Indigenous. So we may just finish out the states with mostly MMIW, MMIP, because we all know, unfortunately, that they definitely do not get as much coverage as needed. Absolutely. Absolutely. Feel free to email me. Which newspaper? Are you talking about the one I was reading, the article I was reading from? Lisa said that newspaper subscription is fire. All right. So that was Mary Ann. Yes, there's definitely, I know there's so many, so many. Yeah, so I said we might finish out the states with a lot of MMIP. All right. So that was Mary Ann. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Newspapers.com. Yes, I use that sometimes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So I'll mark that one. All right. So excellent. Josh says I'm not marketing. I can't talk. Marketing. I give up. Marketing it this way, but I'm going to focus on BIPOC and Indigenous in South Plains on my channel. Excellent. All right, so next we have Cassandra Lee Boskov. I'm going to butcher these names. Boskofsky. I should have already had her information up. So Cassandra has been missing since August 7th, 2019, once again from Anchorage, Alaska. She is also a Native American female, 38 years old. She's also 4'11", 120 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. It says she may use the last name Boskov. I'm telling you, I'm having problems with these names. Boskofsky Beaver. Her ears are pierced. She has a tattoo on her neck of a butterfly, in faded blue and black ink, and scars on both of her knees. So, Cassandra's last known contact with law enforcement was in Anchorage on October 7th, 2019. She had lived in the 1100 block of Bentry Circle, although she did struggle with alcohol and was sometimes in unstable living situations, and she had lost all 7 of her children. She always kept in touch with her family and the adoptive and foster parents of her children, no matter what was going on in her life. And so her family reported her missing in September. So she was reported missing in September, but the last known contact was in August. So Cassandra's family believes that she may have been a victim of Brian Stephen Smith. Apparently, he is a South African national who in 2024 was convicted of taking the lives of 2 Anchorage women, Veronica Abachuk in August of 2018 and Kathleen Joe Henry in September of 2019. And he was sentenced to over 200 years in prison. So apparently this Brian Stephen Smith would document his victims' passings on photos and video. So trigger warning, obviously not going to show any pictures or anything, but so he documented on with photos and video his cell phone, which was taken from him after his arrest in October of 2019. Contained photographs of an unidentified bloodstained woman lying on the ground, apparently unconscious or deceased. When asked about the photos, Smith said that he had picked up a woman and she had passed out, so he had left her alone somewhere outside. In July of 2024, Cassandra's cousin filed a petition of presumptive death in Anchorage Superior Court, stating she recognized the woman in one of Smith's photos as Cassandra. It says that she recognized her cousin by the tattoo on her neck. Authorities have not confirmed that Cassandra was one of Smith's victims, however, or even that the woman in the photo was actually deceased. Nevertheless, even if she wasn't deceased, she was badly hurt. So Cassandra's case remains unsolved. Foul play is suspected. So if you have any information regarding Cassandra's case, you can call the Anchorage Police Department at 907-786-8900. And let me see what I had on her. So I think this article is just kind of about the photo that we were talking about. This is once again from AlaskaNewsSource.com. APD says photos do not prove Alaska Native woman was the victim of Brian Smith. Oh, goodness. Pushing buttons. Watch out. And this article is from July of 2024. Get rid of the ads. Nearly 5 years after Sandra Boskofsky went missing, Anchorage police say more evidence is needed, despite strong belief from the Alaska Native woman's family and supporters that pictures taken off of convicted offender Brian Smith's cell phone prove Smith also took the life of Boskofsky. Anchorage Police Detective Captain Bianca Cross confirmed to Alaska's news source Monday that earlier this month, APD Detective Brendan Lee showed Cassandra's cousin, Marcella, and her aunt Terry graphic photos from the cell phone of Smith, who was found guilty of taking the lives of 2 Alaska Native women. Brian, or which one was it? One of the family members says, I do believe strongly that she is another victim of Brian Stephen Smith. Detective Lee, asked me if I could look at another photograph that was actually in Brian Stephen Smith's phone. I looked through FaceTime and I could see that through FaceTime that yes, it was Cassandra. She says, I just instantly started crying. According to an affidavit, Boskofsky Grounds said the last time she saw her cousin was on August 3rd, 2019, and 23 days later, she filed a missing persons report. The family brought their concerns public Friday at a protest. They continued to wonder why it was not until this month when they were first informed about photos found on Smith's phone, photos that were possibly of Cassandra. Missing and murdered Indigenous people advocate Antonia Comack joined the Boskofsky family at the protest. Comack said as she and former Anchorage police officer Michael Livingston closely followed the Smith case, they noticed court documents in February started to mention a third unidentified woman and immediately started asking questions. Eventually, Comack and Livingston said their questions led to police releasing a sketch and 3 pictures of the women retrieved from Smith's phone. They also say they urged police to contact the Boskofsky family so they could also view the photos. It's disheartening that it took 5 years for them to do that, and we identified her within an hour, Comack said. The fact that their family had to wait that long to have confirmation that their loved one is deceased is just, I have a hard time finding the words because it makes me so angry. However, APD's Cross said without hard evidence, there is no confirmation. While the Boskofsky family may strongly feel the photos show Cassandra, Cross said that is not enough proof to determine if Cassandra is deceased, which the police captain said is why photos were not immediately shown to the Boskofsky family. On July 19th, calling it a matter of closure, Cassandra's, I believe it's her niece, said that she filed a presumptive death petition in Anchorage Superior Court. She said she believes the officially unidentified woman from the photos is her cousin Cassandra. In her email to Alaska's news source on Monday, Cross said nothing can be officially signed off on without forensic evidence. He said, we were cognizant we would not be able to confirm the identity regardless of what the family believed, and that idea of not being in a position to confirm could be just as detrimental. Other names were suggested by various law enforcement, but again, no certainty. We believed it was better for the family to hear what we knew as opposed to what people believed and put out in the public without context or more information. A $500 reward remains for any information that leads to the discovery of Cassandra. And information can also be reported anonymously to alaskathe.missing@gmail.com. So it's just, I just can't stand the thought of her family having to see if it was her, and her family obviously believes, or that it is her, just having to see those pictures. Just breaks my heart to think about that. Yes, she is beautiful, beautiful lady. Absolutely. I just cannot imagine just having to see those pictures. But I mean, thank God I've never had to do, anything like that happen. But I mean, I would do what I had to do, whatever I had to look at, just to know. It would be so hard though. Um, Welcome, Brittany. Good to have you here. Hope you're doing well tonight. Yes, Miss Lisa Joe's a smarty spice. She is a genetic genealogy enthusiast. She said that's actually how I started advocating for missing persons cases. Turns out I developed a very useful skill set. Yes, you have a particular set of skills. Yes, Lisa says, I feel like Alaska is so scary. The men-women ratio alone is concerning. I've never actually looked up the ratio. So they have man camps yes, that would be a little disconcerting. Oh, Lisa Joe says Arctic has access to my ancestry subscription, so they can easily so they can research easily. Oh, and Klein and Madison, excellent. Yes, a particular set of skills and bonus trolling experience. Absolutely. Oh goodness. Okay. So that was Cassandra. Next we have Tracy Lynn Day. Let me get her information. My computer's running a little bit faster than it was. So Tracy Lynn Day has been missing since February 14th, 2019 from Juneau, Alaska. She is biracial, Native American white, female. She was 43 years old at the time she went missing. She'll be 49 years old as of this year, 2025. When she went missing, she was 5'5" to 5'8" and 135 pounds. With sandy brown hair and blue eyes. She is of Tlingit. I can't pronounce it. Tlingit. I think you can see it on the slide. Descent. It says that she may have purple highlights in her hair and may dye her hair blonde. One of her top teeth is missing. She has a small bump on her cheek from a prior injury. She was last seen wearing a turquoise hooded vest, a black hooded sweatshirt, black snow pants, and blue rubber boots. Says she does suffer from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia and does need medication, which she does not have with her. And she does have a history of substance abuse. So Tracy was last seen in Juneau on February 14th, 2019. She arrived at her mother's house that day dressed unsuitably for the cold weather. Her family gave her some warmer clothes to wear. Her sister dropped her off at the corner of Franklin Street and Ferry Way and saw her walking towards two men standing near the former Heritage Coffee store. After that, she has never been seen or heard from again. She lived in an apartment owned by the St. Vincent de Paul Society at the time of her disappearance. On February 20th, a St. Vincent de Paul staffer called her father to say that she had not been seen in a while and she had not done her usual chores in weeks. Her family initially believed that she would turn up. They did look for her around town, but after more time passed with no sign of her, they did report her missing. Prior to her disappearance, she had told multiple family members that she thought someone was after her. They thought that she was just experiencing the paranoia due to her mental health issues. Her loved ones described her as very friendly, trusting, and generous. Her case does remain unsolved. So if you have any information, you can call the Juneau Police Department at 907-586-0600. And I don't believe Tracy's case may have been the only one that I was not able to find any other articles except just for basically the same information contained in the Charlie Project, unfortunately. Let me just make sure. Yep, I didn't have anything else, unfortunately, for Tracy. Yes, I said Lisa Jo has a particular set of skills. Yep. Yes, absolutely. Lisa says schizophrenia is such a horrendous disease. Absolutely. Welcome, Dazed Romero says new to the chat from Wisconsin. Just wanted to pop in and check out the stream. Thank you very much for dropping in. We're glad to have you here. This is our Missing Person Monday live stream. We do this every Monday. Today we're featuring missing Indigenous women from Alaska tonight. So welcome. You are very welcome. Thank you for popping in. All right. So, like I said, I was not able to find any additional information on Tracy. So next we have Stella Anastasia Evon. And let me get hers. And Stella has been missing since September 29th, 1996. This may be the oldest one we have tonight. From Bethel, Alaska. She is a Native American female. She was just 17 years old when she went missing. She will be 46 years old as of 2025. When she went missing, she was just, I think this is the third one we've done. All of them have been 4'11", just tiny. 4'11", 100 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Her ears are double pierced. Her hair is curly, and it was about waist length at the time of her disappearance. And she is of Yupik Eskimo descent. She was last seen wearing a dark blue hooded sweatshirt with the Georgetown University logo on the front, a brown leather jacket, blue jeans, and black shoes. Stella was last seen in her hometown of Bethel, excuse me, on September 29th, 1996. She had been out with friends the previous night, and when she came home in the early morning hours, she could not get her grandmother to wake up and let her in. The police station was nearby. Stella went to the police station for help. The officer did take her to her sister's studio apartment and left her there at approximately 4:30 a.m. And Stella apparently left her sister's apartment between 5 and 6 a.m. After that, she has never been heard from again. She is considered to be missing under suspicious circumstances. It says she may still be in the local area, or she may be in the Anchorage area. Her case does remain unsolved, obviously, and it says some agencies give the date of her disappearance as August 26th of 1996. So anywhere between the 26th and the 29th of, well, no, anywhere between August 26th of 96 and September 29th of 96. So if you have any information regarding Stella's case, you can call the Bethel Police Department at 907-543-3781. And see what I was able to find on her. I think I just had maybe a clipping of a news article. If I can get it to come up where I can read it. So this is from the White Horse Star from October of 2015. It says it's been nearly 2 decades since a 17-year-old Bethel, Alaska girl vanished, and her family is still looking for answers. Last Saturday marked the 19th anniversary of Stella Evon's disappearance. Family members said they are renewing an effort to find out what happened to her. Stella was returning from a friend's house in the early morning of September 26, 1996. Was not able to get inside her home. Evan's cousin, Juliet, says they lived right across from the police station, so she went over to the police station for some help. They tried going over and assisting her and trying to get her grandmother to open the door, but they had no lock, so they brought her to her older sister's house. But Evan left her sister's house between 5 and 6 a.m. and was never seen again. The family is currently offering a $5,000 U.S. reward fund for information about Stella. But Stone Cipher told KTUU TV that they are trying to raise the money so they can increase that amount. She says somebody out there knows something about her disappearance. This is somebody's daughter, somebody's sister, somebody's cousin, somebody's auntie, friend. We need justice for Stella and closure for her family and friends. Stone Cipher said people still reach out to her on Facebook to talk about good times spent with Stella. Stella was a very fun person. She was always laughing. She would always find something to laugh about. She was very outgoing. She is very kind, and she is loved by everybody. So it was just a little bit from, I believe it was her cousin. So just reading with or interviews with the family members just always breaks my heart. All right, let me get back over here. So we're talking football. You're talking my language. Days Romero said, "Hello, Lisa Joe. Packers over Vikings any day." Hey, I'm a Bears fan, so you know, go Bears. Anyway, yes, it's very sad. Romero said it's sad. So many underlying factors in these missing people cases. Absolutely. Yes, and also, and just from what I know, Alaska is big, a lot of nature and woodlands. Absolutely. So, I mean, if they disappear under, suspicious, nefarious circumstances, I mean, there is, unfortunately, like you said, plenty of open land, woodland to be able to, unfortunately, hide remains, or, or if people just, which these we're featuring tonight are mostly native to the land, but I mean, You could easily just accidentally get lost and just succumb to the elements or have an accident, or and just be next to impossible to find, unfortunately. Yes, absolutely, Miss Paula. Definitely suspicious. Yep. Yep. And there are absolutely some people who choose to go missing or disappear or leave of their own accord. Absolutely. Yes, not knowing for certain is one of the worst things a parent can live with. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, don't be dissing my Bears now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I've just always been a Bears fan since the early 80s. Early 80s, been a Bears fan. But I don't know if Echoes is still in here. My brother, but he's actually a Cowboys fan. But when he moved to Minnesota, I think he became a Vikings fan too. So, uh, yep. Absolutely. Romero says, I'll be honest, I was an addict for over 15 years. I disappeared from my family for over 10 years in other states all over the U.S. Absolutely. Yep. Oh, Miss Lisa's going to give you a pass for the football, for the Vikings Packers comment. I can't talk. Vikings Packers comment. Yes, absolutely. You are correct. Romero says, so addiction causes people to do horrible things. Yep. Yep. But it's just it's the nature of it. It's the nature of it. All right. So I think that was all that I was able to find on Stella's case additionally. All right, so let's see who we have next. Oh, we're doing good. We've only been going a little bit over an hour. Romero wants another hall pass. He's going to look up some mean Viking jokes. Absolutely. You look up all the mean Viking jokes you want to. All righty. Uh-oh, Miss Lisa Joe says negative. Uh, oh, maybe because I think what, Lisa Joe? What? I told you I'm a Bears fan. I can't like the Vikings or the Packers. Well, but then I have to give that to Romero. The Bears do kind of suck most of the time. Excellent. Okay, so Josh says he found an article on Tracy Day from the. Can you put the link in the chat, and I can, since you have a wrench, you can put links in, and I'll let's see. Let's go back to Tracy. If you can stick the link in chat, I can click on it and see if it'll let me read it, as long as it's not oh, that might be one, because I think I did find some articles on Tracy, but they were all behind paywalls. And I can't remember if it was from the Juno Empire. Let me try it. Oh, will it let me click on it from here? Oh, I might have to go over. Hold on. Let me go over to uh let me I'm gonna have to go over to the YouTube side right quick and click on the link. Give me 1 second, guys. I promise. Hold on. I'm thinking the Juno Empire is what threw me behind the paywall, but we'll check and see. Because I think it did have an interview with her family members. All right. When I just saw, let me go back. I believe Stolen Spirits is live right now talking about the disappearance of Black Wolf Goss, which I think he is one that we talked about Thursday night on our stream. So I definitely have to be replay crew on that live stream. Come on, trying to get the chat to come up on YouTube. All right. Let me see if it'll let me read it. Okay. Oh, no, I don't want to sign up. Okay. Says, I'm trying to keep her story alive. Family of Tracy Day continues to search for answers 4 years after her disappearance. This is from February 13th, 2023. It might let me read it. At just 2 years old, Klaas Schneider might not know much about the world yet, but he does know one thing. His grandmother, Tracy Lynn Day, is missing. This year, Valentine's Day, February 14th, marked 4 years since the then 43-year-old woman was last seen in Juneau before she disappeared without notifying family or friends about where she had gone. Kaylin Schneider, who is her daughter, says it's like this giant cut, a wound, and not knowing is like you don't get to heal that wound and let it become a scar. It rips open every other day. How can we move past something that continues to rip open? Police described Day as a 5'5" 5'5" 135 pound, who was last seen with brown hair with bangs at the time of her disappearance. According to Juneau Police Department spokesman Lieutenant Craig Campbell, Day's case is still open and under investigation. In an email response to the Empire, Campbell said JPD remains committed to investigating new tips or leads that are sent in regarding the case, but noted JPD has not received any new tips regarding the investigation in the past several months. He said there is no new information about the case that can be shared at this time. Schneider said she still holds on to the hope that one day her son might someday know where his grandma went, but after 4 years of her mother being missing, she's come to the conclusion that her mother is most likely deceased. She said that still does not stop the pain of wondering if she might be wrong because the case remains unsolved and her body has never been found. Schneider said she feels the police have, quote, given up and are, quote, not doing enough. She said she is disappointed with the lack of answers she has received regarding the investigation. She said it just doesn't make sense. It seems like there is no evidence. There's nobody. She literally vanished. Campbell said JPD has been in contact with the family of Day's family to provide updates on the case as they have become available, and will continue to work with the family to keep them up to date on the status of the case. Schneider said as a Lingit, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, Tlingit, a woman, her mother's disappearance and the absence of an answer about where she went is yet another example of the lack of attention cases of missing and murdered Indigenous women have received across the nation. Schneider said, our women are going missing. The state of Alaska ranks 4th in the nation for the highest number of MMIW cases, according to a 2020 study by the Urban Indian Health Institute. Across the country, it's estimated that approximately 4,200 MMIW cases that have gone unsolved, according to the U.S. Department of the Interior's Bureau Indian Affairs. That was a mouthful. Before her disappearance, Day was being treated for bipolar and schizophrenia. She had battled with substance addiction for most of her life. Schneider said throughout the years of her mother's disappearance, many people have told her that Day's struggles with mental health were the reason behind her disappearance, though she rebuts those claims strongly. Before her mother went missing, Schneider said nothing seemed out of the ordinary, nor did she see any sign of Day's mental health struggles being a cause of worry for her safety, though Schneider said Day told multiple family members in the weeks leading up to her disappearance that she thought someone was after her. Schneider described her relationship with her mother as being extremely close and said that as each year goes by that her mother remains missing, it's the little things that make the unknowing more painful than knowing what might be the bitter reality of her mother's location. She said, I don't know whether to mourn her or search for her. Everything you can think of to do, I've done it 10 times over. Schneider said she still feels the urge to call her mom when she's overwhelmed, even though she knows she won't be at the other end of the line. She struggles with whether to tell her son that his grandma, who he's never met, might still be out there, or if she should tell him that she is gone. She struggles with wanting to visit her mother's gravesite, which does not yet exist. She says she refuses to legally declare her deceased until her body is found or some other evidence convinces her of a probable conclusion. After her mother's disappearance, Schneider began using online platforms like TikTok and YouTube to find comfort and share her mother's story, which since she began posting has grown in viewership by the thousands. Recently, she also participated in the filming of a documentary about her mother's disappearance, which she said is set to be released later this year. She says, I'm trying to keep her story alive. Schneider said she will continue to do anything she can to bring more attention to her mother's disappearance and spread more awareness about the epidemic of MMIW happening across the state and the country. For now, she says she likes to pretend like her mom isn't missing, that she's living her best life somewhere, that she's warm, somewhere that she's happy. She said, I just pretend she's doing something fun. Otherwise, it really messes with me. Campbell said JPD encourages anyone with information about Day's disappearance that they haven't already provided to police to contact the JPD business line at 907-586-0600. Anonymous tips can be made through www.juneaucrimeline.com, and information about missing persons cases in Juneau can be found at JPD Missing Persons City and Borough of Juneau. Our hope is that as time has passed, anyone who has pertinent information regarding the disappearance of Tracy Day and who has not spoken to the police already may now be willing to come forth. So thank you, Josh, I think I did find this one, but for some reason, when I clicked on it a couple of times to read through it, it threw me behind a paywall. But thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. It's just so heartbreaking once again to just read, the daughter, and then Tracy's daughter talking about her daughter, which would be Tracy's granddaughter, not even having met Tracy. It's just, it just gets me every time. Let me see. Let's get caught up in comments. I don't think I have ad blocking on. I might have. I don't know. I'll have to share. But yeah, it did let me read it. But I did it on. I was reading it through. It wasn't Chrome. It was what Microsoft Edge, whatever that. I think that's what it was. Oh, you're fine. You're fine, Romero. It happens all the time here. It happens all the time. Absolutely. Yep. Yep. Joe says the state of Alaska ranks fourth in the nation for the highest number of MMIW cases, according to the 2020 study. Yep. It's just so gut wrenching. Absolutely. Romero said closure is so important on many levels. Absolutely. Yep. Just, I mean, I haven't seen her in here, but Miss Barbara Hall, Timmy D's. If you never heard of Timmy D's case, you can just Google YouTube, and I've done. All of us, a lot of us creators, and many others have done. Um, and I believe Timmy was only missing for, was it 6 months, 6 weeks? Unfortunately, he was found deceased. But yeah, so yes, the in a sense, Miss Barb has got closure, is in that she found him, but she's still fighting for justice for him. Excellent, excellent. Hey, it doesn't matter. So Romero says I don't stream or anything yet, but when I do, I make gaming stuff and open help forums. Excellent. We will definitely check it out. Native, indigenous. Yep, I'd heard that. Absolutely. Yeah, I've always heard that there was a lot of, I mean, I don't know a whole lot about Alaska, but just when I read that there was a lot of like substance abuse, alcohol abuse, things of that nature. It's just, but unfortunately, it's um, like that in a lot of places. Absolutely. Who Kaylin or Josh says Kaylin was a guest on a podcast if you want to mention it. Yes, you can mention it. Absolutely. Not that I know of. I don't think it mentioned any persons of interest in Tracy's case. Thank you, Josh. There is Miss Barbara's channel, Timmy's Legacy. Absolutely do check it out. All right, so thank you once again, Josh. Yes, Romero says Alaska is hard to monitor with such big spaces, so it's easier to distribute, which makes Alaska a Wild West and an open market. Yes. All right, so that was back to Tracy. Once again, thank you, Josh, for the link to that article. So it did Stella, right? Let me make sure that I read Stella's article, right? I think I just had yeah, all right. So now we're on Valerie. Make sure I got back to the right side. Valerie Jeanette Sifsof. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. So Valerie has been missing since July 7th, 2012. Once again, another one from Anchorage, Alaska. She is a Native American female. She was 43 years old when she went missing. She'll be 56 years old as of 2025. When she went missing, she was 5'5" tall, 120 to 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Her nickname is Val. She was last seen wearing a black hooded zip-up DKNY sweatshirt over a green tank top, blue sweatpants, black calf-high boots with a side buckle, Prada sunglasses with silver frames. So Valerie was last seen at Granite Creek Campground at mile 64 on Seward Highway, which is outside of the resort of Girdwood in Anchorage on July 7th, 2012. She was camping with her boyfriend. He stated that Valerie became upset and walked away from the campsite at around midnight, leaving behind her keys, her identification, her cell phone, and her other belongings. She never returned. Her boyfriend looked for her and could not find her. He finally left the campground at around noon the next day, but she was not reported missing until July 11th. So about 4 days later. So searchers did find Valerie's tank top and black sweatshirt in 6 Mile Creek. That creek runs behind the campground, but there was no other sign of her. Her family does believe she is deceased, but they are continuing the search, and they still hope for answers in her disappearance. Her case obviously is unsolved, and she was declared legally deceased in 2016. So, excuse me. So if you have any information on Valerie's case, you can contact the Alaska State Troopers at 907-783-0972. Let me see what I was able to find. I think I was able to find a couple. Let's see. This first one is from hubpages.com. It is from October, or was updated October 2023. Missing Valerie Sifsof disappeared from Alaskan campground. Valerie Jeanette Sifsof was 5'5" and between 120 to 150 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. A Native American woman. Valerie belonged to the Yupik I cannot pronounce these. Yupik Inupiaq tribe in Alaska. She was last seen on July 7th, 2012 in the Granite Creek campground in Moose Pass, Alaska, which is south of Anchorage. Valerie was born on November 23rd, 1968 to Julian Pelagio and Victor Sifsof in Anchorage. Her mother passed away from cancer several years before her disappearance. All 5 of her siblings and many cousins described her as a very caring and affectionate person who was full of life. She loved to read and play with her younger cousins. She also liked going shopping with her aunt. She was a very creative person. She had enrolled in 2 art classes and had a strong talent, just like her ancestors. She also enjoyed being in nature, and she would often go netting in the summer in their family drift gill net boat called the Valtrina. And she had been planning her sister's baby shower on the weekend that she disappeared. This was something that she never would have missed, as she was extremely excited about the event. That weekend, she and her boyfriend, Elliot Freeberg, went camping at the Granite Creek campground in Moose Pass, Alaska, just south of Anchorage. On July 7th, around midnight, Valerie and her boyfriend got into an argument. She reportedly stormed out of the camp, leaving behind all her belongings, once again, including her cell phone and ID, and she never returned to the camp. Her boyfriend claimed that he looked for her until the next day. When he left the campground around noon, he did not report her missing until 3 days later on July 11th. So to me, that's a little red flaggy. Authorities labeled this as a possible abduction, or that she may have gotten lost in the woods. Once again, she was last seen wearing the black DKNY hoodie, green tank top, blue sweatpants, black boots, and silver-rimmed Prada sunglasses. When Valerie was reported missing, police responded and investigated the area. Unfortunately, heavy rain and wind hindered the search, but police and volunteers pressed on. In late August, a search party found a green tank top in the creek running behind the campgrounds. They confirmed this shirt did belong to Valerie. They continued to search for her, and in late October, her family found a black hoodie stuck in a log jam about 6 miles away from the location of the green tank top. This was also found to belong to Valerie. While her family knew she was most likely deceased at this point, they continued to look for her, hoping to find anything that could give clues as to what happened. And once again, she was legally declared deceased in 2016. Valerie's father, Victor, and her stepmother, Jane, are still actively looking for her in hopes of finding anything. They still search the area when possible and keep their hopes up. She was loved by many people. She did have a lot of close friends and family. So some possible theories. No official theories have been stated by the police, but it's thought that she could have been taken when she was walking alone in the woods, and possibly her life was taken in the woods. The other theory is that she just simply got lost in the woods in the dark, and without her cell phone to call for help or to have any kind of light, she might have gotten lost and kept walking deeper into the woods. Another theory that cannot be confirmed is that her boyfriend may have been involved in her disappearance. Police have not named him as a suspect. And once again, if you have any information on where Valerie could be, what might have possibly happened to her, call the Alaska State Troopers at 907-783-0972. And I thought I read somewhere, I may have been mistaken. Let me see what this other article says. That they found blood on, I might be mistaken though, it might have been another case. That they might have found blood on the clothes. So here's just the first part of that other article I read on the other case from earlier, from AlaskaNewsSource.com. 5 years later, a high-profile, and it's from July of 2017. 5 years later, a high-profile search for a missing Anchorage woman lingers in the hopes of family members. Valerie Sifsof, 43, was reportedly last seen at the Granite Creek campground in July of 2012. Valerie's aunt, Dorothy Larson, said, "Every year we look at the 4th of July weekend in a very melancholy way because that was the last time that we saw Val." Valerie is still listed as a missing person on the Department of Public Safety's online bulletin. 5 summers ago, friends, family, and first responders gathered at the popular campground in Moose Pass. Larson said, "It is a very intense search, and people from all over would stop in that area and check." A family member said Valerie had been camping with her boyfriend when she reportedly became upset and walked away from the campsite. Once again, leaving behind all her belongings, was not reported missing until 4 days later. Valerie's father, Victor, spoke with Channel 2 News in 2012. He said, "I'm hopeful that she got picked up or someone has seen her and that she is in Anchorage. Despite looking for months on foot from the air and in the water, families say no hard clues turned up." And that was obviously before they found the tank top and the hoodie. It says people have their speculation, but there's no hard evidence or anything that would point to a clue as to what happened. Okay, so in the fall of 2012, evidence in her disappearance did turn up. Troopers say the sweatshirt Valerie had last been seen wearing was located near 6 Mile Creek. It was enough to put a second wind in the search. At one point, troopers said Valerie may have been trapped in a log jam. See, that's what I thought about too when they said they found her or some of her clothes in the water. She could have, it was dark, wandering off in the middle of the night, falling into the creek or the river or whatever, 6 Mile Creek, and drowned. It says 5 years later, no body and few other findings to go on. Families say they simply do not know what happened. But it doesn't mean it's time to give up. You still look and you look along the highway when you're driving. It's just something that you do. This is according to, I believe, her father. Missing persons flyers with Valerie's photo are not as common as they were in 2012. Still, family members say memories are easy to find. Her father says she was a very special person, very fun, loving, kind, bubbly, and vibrant. Court records show a presumptive death was granted in 2016. Oh, I guess that was the end of it. Okay. So that was just a little bit more. I guess I was thinking about another case when I was thinking about it, that there was blood, but there wasn't. All right, let me get to your comments again. Okay, is that the one you're talking about? Josh says, innocent till tipsy on Spotify. Excellent. I will have to check it out. Thank you, Josh. Oh, no, I am in Arkansas. Merrill said, I asked if I was in Alaska or reporting from down south. No, I am from Arkansas. I am in Arkansas. We've been, for our missing person Mondays for the last, however long, we've just been making our way through, doing a state a week, a different state every week featuring missing persons. But yep, I'm down south. I am down south. Yep, I'm in the south. What gave it away? Was it the accent? Couldn't have been the accent. Uh, yep, definitely red flags. There's our friend JP. How are you doing, JP? Good to see you. Always good to have JP in here. Carmel said their investigation numbers do not work. Where are you getting the numbers from? Is it from the oh, how I didn't miss Josh. He said, not all have to go to bed. Sent you an email. All right, absolutely. I will check it. Absolutely. Oh, before Josh left, he gifted 5 Southern Gals True Crime memberships. Thank you so much to Josh. So congratulations to the 5 recipients. You guys will have to look on the, or I'll have to watch the chat replay to see who got gifted the memberships. But thank you so much, Josh. Josh is incredible. Absolutely. Josh says, may all the missing be found and justice for the found. Absolutely. Yes, congratulations to whoever were the recipients. So we're neighbors. Romero says he lived in West Point, Mississippi for a few years. Love the South. I do too, except when it's getting hot here. It's not as hot as it's going to get, but it's going to be up in the 90s this coming week. I think starting tomorrow, which that's nothing for Arkansas. In a couple of months, it'll be over 100 degrees with 100% humidity. So I'll enjoy the 90s while I can. Hello again, Miss Paula. And Miss Farr gifted another membership. Thank you so much. You're blowing me away tonight. Thank you so much again, Miss Farr. All the way from Australia. Oh, Romero says the investigation agency number does not work. Oh, okay, on the slides, they should work. I said they should work. Yes, it is definitely AC weather, most definitely. All right, so let me mark there. And we have next, we have Linda Louise Skeek. Let me get her information. There it is. So Linda has been missing since January 1st of 2016, once again from Anchorage. She's a Native American female. She was 32 years old when she went missing. She would be 42 years old as of 2025. Excuse me, at the time she went missing, she was 5'10", 200 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. She also is a member of the Tlingit tribe. Her maiden name is Sheldon. Her ears are pierced. She was last seen wearing a black coat, a red vest, a red skirt, and high-heeled shoes. She suffers from alcohol addiction issues. She had checked herself into rehab centers in the past, but it says she did not use illicit substances. So Linda was last seen in Anchorage on January 1st, 2016. Her husband, Thomas Skeek Jr., the smaller picture on the slide there is Thomas. Said that night he drove her to 3 bars and a strip club and would wait in the parking lot with their children until she was ready to go to the next location. He says they arrived home at around 1 a.m. and Linda resumed drinking. Thomas said that Linda wanted to drive back downtown to visit another bar, but he took the car keys away from her. They got into a verbal argument about it. He said that Linda screamed at him and then left home on foot at around 2:30 a.m., presumably to go to the bar. After that, she has never been seen or heard from again. Linda was carrying only her Alaska ID card and possibly around $40 in cash at the time of her disappearance. She did not have any credit or debit cards with her. And Thomas, the husband, had the only cell phone in the family. Her husband reported her missing on January 4th. So 3 days later, at the urging of Linda's foster mother named Rena. Linda would frequently leave her home on weekend drinking binges, but she would always return by Sunday night so that she would be able to go to work on Monday. Her family stated no matter what was going on in her life, she always called her loved ones at holidays and anniversaries. She and Thomas had moved from Juneau, Alaska to Anchorage a few months before she went missing, and Linda still has relatives and contacts in Juneau. It says the marriage was troubled in November of 2015, according to court documents. Apparently, Linda pointed a loaded firearm at her husband in front of their 7-year-old daughter. That same month, she filed for a protective order against Thomas for herself and their 2 young children. In her petition, she said Thomas had assaulted her by grabbing her by the arm and pushing her and left bruises on her chest. As she withdrew her petition 10 days later, she and Thomas reconciled. It says Linda was having an extramarital affair, however, with a man that she had met while she and Thomas were separated in November of 2015. He never heard from her again after New Year's Eve of 2015. And Linda told her loved ones that she wanted to divorce Thomas. So Linda's boyfriend does have an alibi for the night of her disappearance. He is not considered a suspect in her case. He knew that she was married and said that he thought she may have been seeing other men at the same time that she was seeing him. On January 20th, 3 weeks after her disappearance, the police searched her home and a vehicle. After the search was completed, Thomas was charged with homicide and evidence tampering in her case. He does have a prior criminal history for attempted SA of a minor. He is a registered SO, and the victim was a 15-year-old girl. Sims, which is, I believe it said was Linda's foster mother, stated that she had been suspicious of Thomas when, after Linda's disappearance, he would not allow their children to speak to her. She repeatedly asked him if he had taken Linda's life, and he kept saying no, but finally said instead, "I don't think so." She repeated, "You don't think so?" And he said, "No, I did not K Linda." So Sims notified the police immediately. Thomas was charged shortly thereafter. When he was arrested, police noted a possible human bite mark on his right arm, as well as some bruising on his neck, collarbone, back, and hip. Investigators found blood evidence in the residence, and they believe that Thomas took Linda's life there and tried to clean up the crime scene. There were blood stains in the bathroom, in the basement crawl space, on the kitchen wall, and in the passenger compartment of the couple's vehicle. And there was also a clump of long dark hair in the crawl space. In the dryer, there was some clothing which looked like it had been washed with too much bleach. And there was a notation on the calendar for January 1st that said, quote, 2:30 a.m., Linda walked off. Authorities learned that Thomas purchased bleach, ammonia, and Lysol after Linda's disappearance. One of the couple's children told their great uncle that she had seen Linda's feet in the downstairs bathroom, quote, with blood all around it on the night of her disappearance. That just, oh, the kids. The woman who lived in the unit above the Skeeks reported hearing a loud fight in the early morning hours of January 1st and said Thomas was angry and swearing at Linda, and Linda asked for a divorce. Then the neighbor heard the sound of glass breaking and things being thrown, and there was a large bang and a jolt that knocked a photo off of the neighbor's wall. She never heard anything from Linda after that. And when Thomas told Linda's mother that she was missing, he added, quote, "They'll never find her." He was also having an extramarital affair at the time that she went missing, and his girlfriend moved in shortly afterwards. At Thomas's trial in March 2019, he and Linda's daughter testified for the prosecution. Thomas's defense argued that there was not enough evidence to prove that Linda was deceased, and that if she was, there was insufficient evidence to prove that her husband was responsible. His attorney suggested that she had been the victim of a random attacker, that she was struck and killed by a drunk driver, or deliberately walked out of her life. So after 3 hours of deliberation, the jury acquitted Thomas of all charges. He was acquitted. Linda worked for the NANA Regional Corporation, which is an Alaska Native social economic group, at the time of her disappearance. She has 3 children, 2 by Thomas and 1 from a prior relationship. She spent years in foster care as a child, cared for by the Sims family. She was still close to her former foster parents and siblings, and she did show up at their home during the holidays. So foul play obviously is suspected in her disappearance due to the circumstances, and her loved ones are just hoping to recover her body. So just a horrifying case. And Thomas was acquitted. I just, he was acquitted. The jury heard the evidence, but I just, I have my opinions. We'll put it that way. I have my opinions about that. But that's just what it is. My opinions. Well, that's cool. Romero says I go down to visit my brother at Bragg in North Carolina once a year, and I'll call to Florida to visit family. Excellent. Welcome. I'm a real ginger. Yes, these cases are, yeah, extraordinarily sad. Yes, this is very true. Romero said when it comes to indigenous people and tribes, they have their own order and laws. The United States doesn't have as much authority unless crimes are committed off native land. SA goes unreported and has become acceptable or at least kept undercover to keep native land from getting bad name. Yes, that is unfortunately very true. Very, very true. All right. Um, so okay, so that was a lot of information. Let me see. I think Linda's was the last one I had. Hold on. I think I had a couple of articles. One was just about the her husband being acquitted of the charges. Um, oh, I bet it won't let me read this one. It's from the Juneau Empire. Um, it's from January of 2016. I may not read all this. Says it was only through news reports Wednesday evening that family members in Juneau learned police made an arrest in connection to the disappearance of their loved one, and the charges included 2 counts of homicide. Thomas Skeek Jr., 33, was arrested Wednesday after the Anchorage Police Department served a search warrant at the house he shared with former Juneau resident Linda Louise Skeek. Following the search, he was arrested and charged with first-degree homicide, second-degree homicide, and tampering with evidence related to Linda's disappearance, which we know now he was acquitted. Myrna Brown, who is Linda's aunt, said we were sending out flyers to Anchorage businesses, putting up notices, information on Facebook. I guess we were all looking in the wrong place. Like I said, I have, even though he was acquitted, let me see. I'm just trying to find some statements from the family. Juneau resident. Oh, hold on. According to APD's release, Thomas reported his wife missing on January 4th. Once again, he said that she left the home after an argument. Juneau resident Rena Sims, Linda's foster mother since she was 14, said that she talked with Thomas before he reported his wife as missing. In a phone interview with the Empire, Sims said she had urged Thomas to file the missing persons report. She said she had told him that in her experience, Linda always kept in touch to let everyone know that she was okay, even when she was in trouble. As Sims says, she had addictions, but she was trying to clean her life up. She had a dream to be whole, adding that Linda had checked herself into rehab centers in the past. She was a very loving, thoughtful person, respectful to others. That's why she could always get such good jobs. She loved children. She did not forget a birthday. She was a great daughter. That does not mean she didn't have her problems, but she was very well loved, and she gave love back. As Sim said, she last saw her foster daughter during a trip at the end of October and early November. They touched base regularly and visited with each other whenever possible. Linda was celebrating a recent promotion with the Nana Regional Corporation, which was an Alaska Native for-profit social economic group where she worked as a secretary. When New Year's came and went without a phone call from Linda, Sims said she became worried. As Sims said, when she didn't call for New Year's, she calls for every holiday, Mother's Day, anniversaries. That indicated something was wrong. Sims said Thomas recently did not allow her to, Thomas, which was the husband, recently did not allow her to speak with the two children the couple had together, an 8-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy, which raised some flags for Sims. At that point, Sims began pressuring Thomas to be truthful about what happened to her foster daughter. As Sims says, I asked him, did you murder Linda? He kept saying, I did not hurt her. And I said, I didn't ask you that. As Sims said, she continued to ask Thomas outright several times if he took the life of Linda. And she said he consistently said no. Then she said he changed his answers during a phone call that took place after he filed the missing persons report. Sims says, I said again, did you kill Linda? Then he said, I don't think so. And then that's when I called the police. Sims flew to Anchorage on Sunday to speak with police in person to voice her concerns. She says she couldn't get anyone to speak with her directly and flew back to Juneau on Monday. On Wednesday night, media outlets began sharing the news of APD's arrest and homicide charges. In a phone call, Sims said the news confirmed her worst fears about her foster daughter's disappearance and verified her suspicions about Thomas. Sims was waiting for news from Linda's birth mother, Laura, and Linda's sister, Kendra, both Juneau residents who left for Anchorage Thursday morning after learning about the arrest. Sims and Myrna both said police did not notify them of Linda's passing or whether her body has been found, despite homicide charges being filed. Sims did say she received word from the Anchorage District Attorney's Office that a body has not been found and that police are investigating recent purchases by Thomas. I think they said he purchased bleach and Lysol and things of that nature. So just had more about him. So we all know, once again, that he was acquitted. Let me see what this article, I have one more article. So this is from the AlaskanNewsSource.com. A family of missing woman searches for body as husband awaits homicide trial. So this was before he was acquitted, but this is from March of 2016. The family of a missing Anchorage woman whose husband has been charged with homicide, is searching the city in hopes of finding her body. Linda Skeek, 32, was last seen on New Year's Day. Her husband Thomas phoned police to report her missing. Linda's extended family gathered at the house as adults stood outside the blue fourplex, putting together a search plan. Young children chased each other on the snowy driveway, slipping on the ice and laughing. Absent were Linda and Thomas Skeek's children. They were placed in foster care following Thomas's arrest. Wiping away tears, Linda's mother said she can feel her daughter's presence and wanted to bring her home to Juneau as the family awaits the trial. Laura Sheldon, who is, I believe, the biological mother, says she's crying out. She wants to be found. I really know she wants to be found. I don't think she'd want to be in pieces everywhere. Sheldon and her sister Myrna Brown, along with other family, flew to Anchorage after learning of the arrest and homicide charges from news reports. Just repeating what was in the other article. Brown says, from what we gathered from police, the body has not been recovered. We're praying to God that Thomas will confess and tell us where she is. So it's just going through the blood being found. According to a detective's sworn statement, blood was found in the passenger side of the couple's Lincoln Navigator and inside their home near the entryway to a crawl space. A bloody fingerprint was found on a vapor barrier in the crawl space. A blood spatter appeared on the kitchen wall. It also looked like blood was wiped from a light switch near the back door, according to the police affidavit. The Lincoln Navigator was impounded for evidence collection. The family wanted anyone who saw a car fitting that description driving around Anchorage on New Year's Day or in the early part of January to tell police. If someone saw the car, it may help track down Linda's remains. The family planned to spend that afternoon searching woods near Morningside Loop and elsewhere around Anchorage. They've had people with what the family described as psychic abilities contact them saying they believe they know where Linda might be. Brown said, "We're going to start looking. We don't know exactly what we're doing, but we love and care about her so much. We feel it's important as a family, at least, to do what we can." The family was also trying to get Linda's 7-year-old daughter and 5-year-old son out of foster care. Laura Sheldon said, "I really want my grandkids." Alaska Office of Children's Services could not confirm whether Linda's kids are in state custody due to confidentiality laws protecting children. Police found Linda's disappearance suspicious. After executing search warrants, they found that Linda's email account had been deleted on the family's cell phone, as well as call records from June 25th to the day that she was reported missing. A search of financial records showed Linda's banking activity ended on December 29th, resumed on January 11th, more than a week after her husband told police that she had disappeared. Surveillance video confirmed that Skeek made the new bank transactions according to the police affidavit. He purchased industrial-sized container of Lysol. Yeah, so I just, once again, he was acquitted, but anyway. All right, I think that was the last one I had. Yeah. So once again, May is missing in a murdered Indigenous women, girls, Two-Spirit People Awareness Month. Says over 84% of Indigenous women have experienced violence in their lifetime, and more than 55% have experienced physical violence by an intimate partner. So it is just absolutely, obviously heartbreaking. Get caught up in comments and we will get out of here. Thank you so much. Ramel said, "I appreciate this chat. I have to get some rest." Absolutely. We hope you do come back. Absolutely. We loved having you here. Thank you so much. Says, "But I'm following you. Thank you. And we'll be in and out pending health stuff. A love and respect to everyone here." Absolutely. Sir, back to you. There's my buddy Mustang. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yes, absolute love to the mods, everybody. Absolutely. There's Arctic. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Oh, yep. He has been lurking. Lurking was on panel on TikTok. All right. I did have it. I think I forgot to save the articles. We had a couple of missing. I can't remember the names. Maybe it'll come up on my computer. Oh, there it is. And I'm probably going to do videos on. Here's one of them. Let me see if it'll screen share right quick. So let me take this down for a minute. just quickly before we get out of here. I'm trying to remember the name of the other. Might take it a minute to share. There it is. Okay. No. Get that out of the way. Police searching for Pulaski County woman last seen in February. And there's a picture. And I did do, I posted this on Facebook and on my community tab here on YouTube. The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office is searching for a woman reported missing on April 22nd, 2025. Sharamia White, 31, was last seen in contact with others on February 13th, 2025. She was last seen near the intersection of Highway 365 North and Quinn Road. She has black hair and brown eyes, a black female. Once again, 31 years old, 5'7", 175 pounds. Police urge anyone with information about her whereabouts to contact Detective Donahue with the Pulaski County Sheriff's Office at 501-340-6940, or the non-emergency line at 501-340-6963. And there was another one, a teenage. Oh, and I have to look on my phone, and I would really screw stuff up on my phone. Let me see if it'll be in my search. Watch out, I'm pushing buttons. Oh, I can't remember the name of the other one. It was a teenager. Hold on, let me go. Let me run over to YouTube side right quick. I think I did. Can't remember if I posted it on my community tab. 1 second, 1 second. Once again, everything decided to run slow again. Oh my goodness, come on. It's like me, it's getting tired. It's running slow. Let me check my post. Oh, maybe I didn't post the other one. Well, hold on. Let me check. Maybe I didn't post the other one. Anyway, I will post it on my community tab and on Facebook. Oh, I guess I could stop sharing that. Put that back up there. At the stage. There we go. You're welcome, Miss Paula. Very welcome. Thank you to everybody for being here. Thank you too if you're on replay crew. Thank you so much. Our replay crew is fantastic. Thank you to everybody who is lurking. We love our lurkers too. I should be able, unless we have a family thing come up between now and Friday, I should be able to do a True Crime After Dark about 8 or 8:30 Friday night. So, because we had our family game night this Friday night. So we do that like every other Friday. So this Friday I should be able to do my missing person or a true crime after dark. I've got some articles that I have saved up in my browser about some cold cases and things of that nature. And then of course we'll always have some, unfortunately always have plenty of missing to share. So we will try to do that Friday about 8:30 or so. You're very welcome. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you, Mustang. Thank you, everybody. So, if nobody's got anything else, we will get out of here. Once again, thank you to everybody. Thank you once again to Far gifted 5 memberships. Josh gifted 5 memberships. And then Miss Farr gifted 2 more memberships. So just for good measure, we'll do one more. So thank you so much to Josh and Farr. And congratulations to the recipients. Like I said, I can't see it on the StreamYard side, but congratulations to everybody who got gifted memberships tonight. So I will quit babbling now, and we will get out of here. Until Friday, everybody have a good week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And as always, now I will leave you. We'll try to lighten it up a little bit and cleanse our minds a little bit, and we will take a look at some kitties, some of my fur babies. And I will see y'all hopefully Friday night. Thanks, guys.